Hello and greetings from Iceland. This is one of the updates that I don't know how to start actually. There is just so much going on. So I will only be covering the basics, doing a deeper dive later. And I'm starting with the magnitude 6.9 earthquake on the Reykjanes Ridge while I was preparing for this update. But it occurred deep south of Iceland, so it could not be felt here. But the question is, will some of that energy be transferred to the north, resulting in increased seismic activity in the next days? I think it's a worthy question. So this is something that we should be aware of. And although Grindavík had another win with this last eruption, we are not on safe ground just yet. But there is, however, no giving up around there. The Blue Lagoon opened yesterday, and I flew over there. And the machines there, they are fixing the car park for the summer. The car park they are using now, that was just a quick fix, since the old one is under at least 8 meters of lava, making it a bit tricky to park there. So the Blue Lagoon is getting ready for the summer, since this is, after all, one of the hottest tourist spots in the world. Not just on the surface, they have a magma chamber under there as well. The magma chamber that has been causing all this. But back to that later. I will be uploading a little sightseeing trip from here soon with music, because tours like this, they might leave me with 15-20 minutes of usable footage, but I can only squeeze like maybe 30 seconds, perhaps 1 minute into updates. And the video I uploaded this morning was such a tour that I did over Grindavík yesterday, after I stopped by at the Blue Lagoon. And you can see the new lava there in best possible quality. But the town itself, it remains closed for tourists, but the pressure is on to have it opened, since the damages there, due to some of the fractures moving, were minimal. The worst case of ground displacement was around 8 centimeters, and there I'm talking about the fractures that came into being during the November 10th event, 2023. So the local people have seen way worse, and the boats have started to bring in the fish again. And although the town is closed for tourists, it's business as usual, less than 24 hours after the eruption came to an end. And that's quite good. Tells you a bit about the mentality there. And I used yesterday's trip as well to fly up to the Sundhnúkar craters. I was a bit curious to see if the degassing and steam coming up from the craters had changed, increased or decreased, but this looked to me as the days before the eruption, so I don't have a story there. But I also wanted to film more of this angle, because scientists just confirmed this afternoon that there is a new depression there. The ground beside Mount Skógfell dropped a bit. Satellite images have confirmed so already. But the main reason for filming this angle had, of course, to do with the southwest-northeast trending subsurface magma dike that literally swallowed the eruption that we were supposed to get, only to create more mystery and uncertainty. And scientists did also inform us today that the magma is only about 1.5 kilometers down at this location. And that sentence, 1.5 kilometers, I've heard that one before, like 2-3 days before eruptions on this peninsula. However, the seismic activity has dropped a lot, and over time the likelihood of a new eruptive opening forming along the dike is decreasing. The dike that swallowed 90% of the magma under Svartsengi just cleaned it out. So the big question is, what is this dike going to do with this magma? Is it going to solidify there, or is it going to spew it up? And a volcanic eruption is now, today, considered to be unlikely, but not ruled out though. Judging from the earthquakes, I have the feeling that this is coming to an end, at least until the magma chamber reloads, if it will reload, and we still have room for surprises. And like I promised in my last update, I got up early this morning and took out the thermal drone to look at the other end of the magma dike, the northeast end. That location was actually hit with a magnitude 3 now in the afternoon, so it's not completely dead. And the thermal tour went as expected, no signals to be found, but I was focusing on the largest and deepest fracture that I could find, knowing that this could be the before footage if this develops into something different. And I was also filming the fracture itself and the landscape around, but the light was quite dull this morning, so I would like to do another tour there and chase the earthquakes from the most recent information we got, because this land here is really something when it comes to the tectonics of Iceland. And as for our experts and what they are saying, Professor Magnús Tumi Guðmundsson, it looks as he got this right about this being a magma intrusion, although his colleague Professor Þorvaldur Þórðarson was and still is saying that this could be a tectonic event only around there. So I checked out what Professor Sean Wilsey was saying, because I've heard him say that he takes all earthquakes as tectonic by default until proven otherwise. And it looks to me from his last video that this is magma, like today's data seems to confirm. This is where 90% of the magma went. But the most important numbers we need now, and we need them to be in our favor, is of course the flow rate into the Svartsengi magma reservoir. And I think it's going to take us a few days to get accurate numbers. It takes several data points to see the truth. Is the flow rate increasing or decreasing? And many fine scientists are doing their very best to interpret something that they have never witnessed before. And we have to give them a chance to do so before we throw them under the bus for not explaining everything right away. And if they could do so, it would be quite dull to speculate about the geology of Iceland. And right now, while the seismometers look like this, is the big chance for them as for data collection. We have so much stress being transmitted through the crust now that we simply don't know what to expect. Maybe the elves will start to pop up from those fractures, as dull as they can be, and although they live in stones, they are totally useless when it comes to explain geology. I don't know why. They might be stoned the whole time, and we just have to accept the fact that we don't understand everything. But I will of course do my best to keep this story as simple as possible, with as good footage as possible, so I will stay for a while longer here in the south. And between my regular updates I am going to edit together clips from some of my tours, or the clips that don't fit into the regular updates, or our unique Icelandic landscape. And with that, I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island Iceland.